All right, testing. So I have the correct microphone selected now. All right, so I'm just picking up where we left off yesterday with our SEO agent, and our goal right now is to make sense of all of the suggestions that are being created by our SEO agent. So currently, our SEO agent is able to pick up and generate suggestions for how to improve our website to appear more trustworthy inside of ChatGPT and to be recommended more often. And that's our goal right now, is to make sure that we become cited more often for relevant queries inside of our category of content. So our goal right now is to make it easier to understand how to implement all of these great suggestions that we're currently doing, and to kind of give our users, in this case ourselves, a plan on what to work on this week, a plan on what content needs to be created, what content needs to be updated, what we need to spend our time on, over everything else. And that's where we are today. And we have work in progress from yesterday, and our goal is to just keep going from that and to allow ourselves to actually generate a highly usable, a highly actionable list of content that we can create for our website, and a highly tailored list of content suggestions that we need to implement on our website. We could choose whether or not we want to implement it or not on our end, but I think having a highly tailored approach towards the content is going to be the most important thing for us right now. So today we are, let's see, is it not working? It is working. Okay, perfect. All right, I just wanted to make sure our stream was actually up and running, because it doesn't look like it was on our channel, but I think we are working correctly. Let me double check here. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell whether or not things are working on YouTube, but let me double check maybe I'll look at the YouTube channel real quick. Let me double check, because I don't want to stream for no reason. All right, let's go. So if I have content, I have live. Yes, it looks like we are live. Correct. Perfect. All right, and today is April 30th, 2026. And this is this is a weird issue that I'm facing currently with our content creation on YouTube. It's a little weird. I know that a lot of our songs that we're playing on stream are supposed to be copyright free, and I've been working on trying to find a good playlist for that, but I need to find a service that works for this, because a lot of the streams of all this content that we're creating aren't being published on YouTube, which is kind of annoying, because we're spending hours trying to create high quality vibe coding content and show people behind the scenes on what it actually takes to build something. But YouTube doesn't like that we play a little bit of background music, and I've been trying to find copyright friendly music, but that isn't horrible. But you know what? I do have one option today. I might just try out one more option. I have downloaded some copyright free music into Apple Music. So these are MP3s that I downloaded, and this is from Stream Beats by Harris Heller. So Stream Beats, Harris Heller. So this is supposed to be copyright free. So supposedly, but I am willing to give it a shot. So let's see. Let's give it a shot and see what happens. We'll find out soon enough. But I do need music. I can't stream to nothing. let's do music. This is just some background music. I just need something to listen to without words so that I can focus more clearly on what I'm trying to accomplish here. So my goal today is a big one. I want to wrap up a lot of what has been going on with our SEO agents, content generation ideas, and I want it to be able to be clear where I should be spending my time. Let me make sure that this is still working. Alright, cool. Appears to be working. We'll give it a shot. I know the music isn't the best or anything, but it's just something I need to listen to so I can work and concentrate, So, anyways, where we are currently. We are currently here on our website. So this is actually the main project that we're working on while we test out our SEO agents capabilities. And our goal is to help people understand how to most effectively create content for their website in the age of LLMs. AI has changed a lot about how SEO works, and a lot of people just don't understand the new strategies that they need to implement. It's nothing super crazy. Essentially, whereas you used to want to rank for specific keywords, and you would do that with Google by showing them that you have a lot of relevant content about these specific topics. Now you're more thinking about a broader approach of a category of topics, so something a little bit broader, and you have to have, I think, the ability to convey your expertise in a specific topic. So I think the thing that we've been kind of realizing is that blogs are less and less important, and what is now becoming more important is case studies of what you have done for someone in particular in a specific area, and how you have been able to affect someone's business or affect a specific outcome with your business or your services or your products. So this is probably the most important thing to keep in mind, is that we are now in the age of deepening our reputation and expanding our expertise and working on conveying our expertise to the LLMs. So these are called answer engines, and our goal is to be the cited expert inside of a search. So if I was to go to Chat GPT and ask it anything in particular, so I was researching microphone setups for OBS. If I go here, I could probably see that I have a lot of specific products now that are being recommended. I was having issues with a specific microphone, and it was able to pull up a guide for my specific microphone that I'm currently using right now. And it's this one, in this case, there's no direct citations, but if I was to research how could I improve my audio quality, what are some top tips with backed info about improving audio quality for streaming. So if I research this specific topic, it's going to actually do some research, and it's going to actually try to, maybe not in this case, maybe in this case it's just going to give me its own knowledge, because it doesn't have to actually research outwards. But okay, well, this is a bad example, I guess. Let me try a new one. So I am planning an Italian coast trip this summer. Where are some of the places I should consider staying? Let's aim for mid-range towns that have great seafood. can see when it had that note there that it is going to be searching the web. It is looking right now. And we are beginning to see some citations specifically for this search. So here's some smaller towns like Camogli, Porto Venere, Tellaro, and these are all going to be backed by different articles about little towns around Italy. And if you dig in deeper, you can see that any of these people that are being recommended are specifically like experts in this type of topic, in this area of expertise, and they have entire guides about this specific topic. And it is quite similar to traditional SEO, but in this case what we're doing now more is aiming for content that answers specific questions, and that content should be backed or created by notable experts that have deep experience about specific topics, you know. So that's really where we're aiming right now. It's like we're trying to help people and guide people towards becoming experts in their specific topic area. All right. So this looks like a great place to this looks like a good example of getting cited by ChatGPT in the answers. Oof, this music. All right. Actually, I should go back and like permanently delete that song. That was insane. Crazy. Alright. This is why it's copyright free. It sounds like, man. Anyways, let's continue on. Pogliano Amare, Puglia. So these are all towns in Italy that have content and articles and guides that have been written by experts about this specific topic. This one in particular, Visit Italy. I think they've been cited here a few times now. Visit Italy. And then I saw another one up here, I believe. And maybe not. Maybe. Yeah, right here. Visit Italy as well. So I saw 3 recommendations from this Visit Italy website. And you're still seeing some of the bigger names like Business Insider, Vogue magazine, but they are trying to bring in a mixture, just like Google does when they're trying to suggest content for your search engine result pages. So yeah, let me take a look at our progress here. So let's continue on with our agent while we continue exploring how this content is being recommended by ChatGPT. So we have the active work tree selected. Continue. Make this resize so it fits within the frame a little bit better. Alright, so I think that's good to go. Actually, let me switch this around here so I can take over this part of the screen here and have my chat window here, and then I can have my browser over here so I can have more vertical screen real estate here. Cool. That looks pretty good. Take a look here. That looks all right. Okay, so where this is working now on the background, I am going to be able to continue exploring how the citations work on ChatGPT. So let me keep looking at this for one more moment. And let me expand this actually for a second. Okay. It looks like we have completed some of the work already. Let's make sure that we note what has been completed before doing anything else. Update the spec with more info about what we have already accomplished. Cool. So I think the next thing that I'm looking for is now like targeting more specifically about content related to my specific niche. And in our case, our niche is helping people or creating content that helps people understand how to optimize their websites in 2026 for the LLM answer engines. So this is like our primary focus right now, is making sure that we are helping people rank and we're helping people identify the gaps in their content strategy. We're helping people identify maybe more opportunities of conveying an expertise level of understanding about a specific category of knowledge. So I'm not seeing the changes reflected in the dashboard because they are still on the work tree. Merge them into my currently active branch so that I can test them. So I need to be able to test it out, what we are working on currently. So I want to make sure that, so we are on the main branch right now, and it looks like this is the content architecture branch from yesterday that we were working on. That is our current work tree. And I think that once I bring it into my main branch, then I can see what's going on inside my browser here and some of the changes that we've made. So it looks like PSEO, placeholder, tab route, nothing else. Fast forwarded to main. All 7 slices are now in your local main. 7 commits ahead of origin main, not push. Before testing, we're going to need to do an npm install, restart the dev server. So I'm going to do that real quick. So I need to restart my dev server here. So I'll do an npm install, and then I'm going to do npm install. That's currently running, and once that's completed, I can start it up again. So if I refresh my dev server now, you won't see anything because my dev server is currently down. But once this npm install process is fully completed, I should be able to see the newest changes from Claude Code and some of the new structure for what we did. Okay, I have to send this into Claude Code real quick. So I did an npm install, and it looks like there was an error while it was installing. So let me just make sure that I can have Claude Code fix that for me. Yeah, we are drinking a lot of water today. It's a dry day today. Gotta stay hydrated. Let's see. I steered you wrong. Apologies. Project uses pnpm. You don't need to install anything anyways. I checked the actual package JSON in the merge. Backfill idea, no, it's done. So just restart your dev server, pnpm dev, okay. Sounds good. Let's test this out. So we are expecting to see new areas for our content. So I'm trying to take a look here. Okay, this is new here. So we didn't have the knowledge area before. We didn't have the ideas area before, and we did have the content area before. So we had the scans history, and we had the content tab as well. So let me click through here and see what we have currently and what's changed. So I'm clicking into the knowledge area, and it looks like, so this is one thing that we had built in. So we want to know, so just to kind of give you a recap of where we're at today. So the knowledge area is specifically designed for our users to be able to, let me turn this down a little bit. It's really loud on my end. All right, so, okay, the knowledge area and the ideas area, the ideas tab. These are both new tabs that we have just added in. Our knowledge area allows our users to upload documents into their domain project. So in this case, this is our project, it's ongoing AI, this is our primary domain. And what we're doing here is we allow people to upload documents either by dragging them in or by adding them in manually. So in this case, I could add in a new document, and this will tell our optimization SEO analyst agent what type of content it is, what type of documents we are adding in. So whether it's about our ICP profile or about our specific target, like product positioning, how we're different than our competition, like the type of brand voice we would like to use. Like maybe we want to like have a certain amount of humor or a lack of humor, or maybe you want highly technical explanations for everything, or maybe you want lower level, like beginner friendly content that is really like entry level and allows a lot wider distribution versus like targeting like the specific like specialist, for example, and maybe the strategy that we would like to implement, whether it's going to be more of like a specific type of strategy that we would like to implement, and then just any other type of content as well, any other type of knowledge documents as well. So those are all now possible through our dashboard, and this was previously grouped up into our content tab, and I want to see what our content tab now looks like. Okay, so perfect. There's no ideas for content generations because this hasn't run yet with our new setup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to regenerate ideas for content, and I want to see what happens when we run our idea generation process for our new content. So this is good. It's suggested a few ideas for me, and I think in this case, one thing I would like to do is just take a screenshot of this, and I would just like to add different colored tabs or badges for the types of content. So for our different content suggestions / ideas, or just for our different ideas or content ideas that are generated, I would like different colored badges based on the content type. Currently, all content types are the same color. Cool. For the let's just see what it comes up with. I like just like light colored transparent background colors with brighter text and border colors for the badges, like fuchsia versus like pastel purple. So let's see if that makes sense, but I think I'd like brighter colors personally. Okay, so with that in mind, let's continue on. So we have our ideas list here that was generated by our agent. So this is going to help us understand how we can like content that we should try to be aiming for. So I think an interesting one is that the first thing that I'm seeing here is that it's suggesting a case study about a B2B SaaS founder, and this is coming in because of our knowledge that we added in. So our knowledge here is our ICP file. So this is a profile based on like who we think our target users are and like how we think we can best help them, and with like what type of information I think they're going to be looking for, and like what type of outcomes they're going to be desiring. So if you want to read through our ICP, it's pretty straightforward, but this is something like our ideal customer profile is a solo or near solo founder of an early stage B2B SaaS who does their own positioning and marketing and who has watched their pipeline shift from Google to ChatGPT in the last 12 months. So this is already talking about like who it is and the pain that they're experiencing right out of the gate. And a lot of times the people that we're planning to work with are going to be technical founders, and it's usually smaller teams. So like we're looking at people that have maybe they're solo. They might have a small team. They might not have any venture capital. They may not have the largest of budgets, but they do know that they need to update their strategy and they don't really know where to start. So these are the people that we're trying to work with right now. So with that in mind, let's take a look at our badges. Cool. So I like the colors. I like the borders. I just think that the text needs to be a little bit brighter or something. Not sure. Look, great start. I like the background. I like the borders. I kind of like the borders. But I think the text is tough to read. How can we improve it? The text on the badges needs better contrast or something. I think that's probably what it is. There's not enough contrast from the background. So like in particular, this one, supporting article, kind of tough to read. Case study is nice, but yeah, it needs some more differentiation for the colors as well. Let me try it on light mode. I think it looks pretty good on light mode though. I think I've just don't like them capitalized, maybe. Was that the case? Let me refresh this. Okay, I think this one in particular. I'd say this one is the biggest offender. Starting with that running, let's also try generating content now. So we don't actually have a case study to really spend our time on, so I think I will ignore this one for the time being. But what is looking interesting to me is this site doesn't show up in GPT for your own category. This is why. And then this directly addresses the primary buyer trigger from the ICP doc. They notice their site never appears in Google AI overviews for their own category. This creates urgency and positions ongoing AI as the solution. Let's take a look at this. I think I should just try it. Let's run generate draft. Let's see what happens. Okay. And then, what does ongoing AI membership actually include, and why community matters for builders? This is interesting, but kind of not super relevant. And then GEO versus SEO, why keyword ranking doesn't matter when LLMs answer questions, from ICP doc. They've tried keyword first SEO tools. The what keywords do you want to rank for mental model doesn't match how they think. The article owns the terminology they already speak and shifts mental models. Okay. What is answer engine optimization, AEO, and why should you switch from SEO? From ICP phrases they use: answer engines, answer first content. Answer engine, answer first content. Early stage founders researching this term are high intent. Ongoing AI should own the definition. I think that's also really good. Let's try that out as well. So I have a draft. That's pretty cool. And then I also have another draft in progress here. And a landing page. The founder's guide to getting cited in AI search instead of Googled. Okay. Let's take a look at the draft here. I don't like how the draft moved over to the side on this button here. So let's try that out here. Actually, let me fix this one still. Okay, the color needs to be lighter for the text, honestly. Also, I think that the view draft button, I think I would like to see it open up a modal or something, maybe like a sheet. All right, so So the bottom, thank you. Bless you, bless me, thank you. All right, so currently I have the view draft button here on the side, and I do want it on the bottom of the suggested content area. I think that it should also open the generated content inside of a sheet on the side, or in a modal of a sheet on the right side of the screen, or in a modal. So I think that one of the things that we can do now that we have the draft getting generated, so we do have the copy button, so this is super helpful for sending it to like a CMS or something. I think the next thing from here is going to be publishing it somehow. I think maybe because I've been using Sanity CMS, I think that's probably a great integration to build in. And then I think also like our content section might. So now that I'm looking at it, I think something that's interesting to me is that the content currently is just for like new content. But what about the existing content on a website? So, and then also like, what about like programmatic SEO as well? Because are we gonna want to list like 20, 30,000 pages potentially for someone's website, or even potentially millions of pages? Or are we gonna kind of, I don't know, group that in somehow into a different way of thinking about it? I think right now what we're doing is we're just creating like content ideas, and this is like the generated content, and this is what we're seeing right now is like the generated content that we just built out. But okay, that's still there. So, okay. Okay, so I'm just waiting for that to fix. So the idea is that we have the problem of having people manage their existing content, and we also have the problem of managing new content as well. I think this kind of leans into more of like a CMS territory, and I don't really want to like dig in too deep into the CMS like specifics, because each one is so different and nuanced, but there are obviously like similarities between WordPress and, you know, whatever, like Sanity or something. But I think the problem is that I think we need to separate existing content and like optimizing existing content from like new content that we're generating with our SEO content writer. I think that's possible, but okay. I also would like to toggle this into if your site isn't visible in ChatGPT, Claude, or Perplexity when someone asks about your category, it's almost never a traffic problem. It's a citability problem. LLMs don't surface pages that rank. They surface pages that answer. If your site was written to attract keywords rather than to be definitive, liftable, answer to a specific question, to be the definitive, liftable answer to a specific question, your buyer is asking an AI right now, you won't be cited. Not because your product is worse, but because your content doesn't look like a source worth quoting. I actually like that paragraph. That whole paragraph is good. This is probably like a short script. Let's take a note of this. Okay. All right. So I think next is, wait, I'm gonna open up a new window here. So I'm gonna open up specifically this. All right. Alrighty. Let's see where we're at. Okay, so I think the next thing now is that we need to, I don't think I'm going to actually worry about existing content currently. I think this is going to be mostly about like new content. And I think what would I like to do for this? I think that like having like content optimization helpers built in might be kind of nice, so that someone could add in an existing article or existing content and they could optimize it for readability and like reduce the sound of the AI, reduce the AI, reduce the AI, like I guess the written by AI percentage sound, like, or I guess whatever, like the detection, like you want to make it like more human sounding when you write content. I think that does sound like slightly better, and I think it tends to rank higher. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. So basically, where I'm at, I unmuted it as muted. Yeah. Yeah, technical difficulties. That's fine. So, what we're trying to do is we're noticing that we have a lot of value about the domain already even at this stage, and a lot of what we're seeing is tucked away behind these tabs. So what I'm looking at is trying to expand this information here, and I'm trying to break it out into maybe make it more like clear. Voice, dang, that's a bummer. 1 hour muted. No, it wasn't all muted. It was like 10 minutes or something. I just went to go grab a coffee and muted it. Thank you. Good. Sounds good. Thank you. Yeah, sorry about that. So what we're trying to do is we have our scan history, we have our knowledge area with like documents that the user can add in. They're able to add in markdown documents and ideas of content and the ability to generate content for the user. So we now have the ability to generate like case studies and blog posts and FAQ entries. So like frequently asked questions, like glossary content, landing page content. And we've actually gone ahead and generated some of this content already. So I've gone ahead and I've done 2 that stood out to me. So this is geared specifically towards ongoing AI's content and like the ICP, so like the profile of our customers that we're working towards. So you can see that the this is a glossary entry. So actually I do want to make a note of like this. So 1 second. So when we generate content, it should say the content type. Currently it's unclear if it's a glossary entry or a blog post, etc. This is on the content tab. Alright, so we're now able to do like a glossary entry or like a blog post, and like this blog post is specifically written and is tailored to a pain point from our ICP. So your site doesn't show up in ChatGPT for your own category, and here's why. And this is kind of like the way we're talking about it, by the way, is as more of like, instead of like a keyword that you're trying to rank for, you're trying to rank for an entire category of knowledge. You're not trying to rank for like, you know, this one isolated term, because that's not really how you're actually going to be cited and like shown inside of the ChatGPT results. You're actually going to be cited if you are an expert in a specific category of knowledge, especially if you're smaller. You know, like if you're bigger, like a Condé Nast, like traveler around like Italy or whatever, like they'll have like rankings for like every country in the world for like travel content. But like someone who's just getting started out, who has like maybe, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 employees or they're bootstrapped or whatever, they're not going to have the ability to rank in like an entire like vertical. So they're trying to nail a specific like category. So it's not like the whole vertical, but it's like a certain area. In our case, for example, if you look at ongoing AI, what we're trying to do is we are trying to rank specifically for content related about like generative SEO and like how to rank your site in this new landscape. Like how are you going to be able to stand above the crowd and like prove that how are we going to be able to prove that we know like enough to be cited by ChatGPT? How are we going to prove that we have the ability or like have that expertise to like be recommended above everyone else out there? So in our case, it's going to be about building a lot of expertise and adding a lot of proven track records about like our ability to affect people's results using this new like generative engine optimization, or GEO, or AI SEO. Yeah, so I mean that's like also like an example of how new this stuff is. So like some people might refer to it as AI SEO, some people might refer to it as GEO, generative engine optimization. But the concept is still the same. Is like, how do you actually get high quality, relevant traffic from ChatGPT, from Perplexity, from the new Google suggested answers, you know? And that's similar to SEO in a lot of ways, but that's really like what we're trying to help people do here at Ongoing AI. We're trying to help people rank higher. We're trying to help them get a lot more qualified, high quality traffic from these chat engines, from these answer engines. And it's going to be a long process of like helping people and like figuring it out ourselves and like actually proving that we have the experience to help people with this. So anyways, long story short, we now have a better overview of our specific domain. In our case, let me take a look at this issue. Let me fix this real quick. Okay, I'll just send that over. I don't have to say anything about that. It's clear what the bug is. Okay, so here is our overview. So we have some of the like top level numbers that people might want to see on the overview. Pending ideas, pending content. Last scan was completed 2 days ago. The next scan is manual. There's no automated schedule. The amount of knowledge that has been added to the knowledge area. So that's cool. Content. So content is an area that I think that I'm gonna want to focus in on. And then ideas are great. So ideas are coming along. I think ideas should be more of a table personally, because I think that I could have like columns where I could sort. Let's see. I think so what we have right now is more of like a card view. I think I would like personally to be able to switch between like a list of ideas like in a tabular format, and then also like have this content get presented in a card format. So maybe almost like a little bit of a preview. That might be kind of nice. Maybe. Yeah, we'll have to see there, but let me delete this real quick. So yeah, what I'm doing like for some of my oops, let me fix this. Yeah. So when I run into like roadblocks like this with design and like functionality, like how to present content, I tend to like look at what the big guys are doing, and like I think ChatGPT has a lot of like has a really nice interface. It's really easy to use. It's really like modern and minimal. I think Claude also has a really great interface as well. So in this case, I was trying to figure out how should I organize the different projects that our users are working on. Like how should I present this information to them? And like what should we do to improve the usability of our application? And I think pulling some of this like these ideas out of ChatGPT is like a really good idea. If you ever run into issues, I think just taking screenshots of like a small piece. I mean, obviously don't try to clone ChatGPT, but I think some of the concepts can be applied or applicable to, you know, like unrelated or, you know, modern AI type of SaaS interfaces. So like in this case, we were able to have like the sidebar, and then have our projects under this like parent level projects area. But I think what I'm looking at now is I'm leaning towards how do I get this content onto our website directly from the content area. So we're generating the content now, and it's pretty great quality. I think I'm very happy with how it's looking. I think we need to like determine whether or not like content has been published. That would be a step. So like categorizing it, whether it's been published or not. And then I think building in an integration is probably going to be the most important thing right now. So I have been using Sanity CMS, and I think Sanity is one of the better, spelled it wrong. Sanity CMS. So Sanity is a really great content management platform. They're leaning more and more towards like having your agents working directly with your content, publishing it, updating it, referencing it in as like knowledge, for example. So I think they're doing everything right now, and I love how like forward thinking they are. There's other CMSs that are more popular as well, but I personally like Sanity a lot, and it has a great pricing structure as well. So it's really great for people just getting started out. So yeah, we're gonna I think I'll build the Sanity CMS integration. So let's start with that. Let's map out an integration flow for publishing content to a CMS. I would like it to be a system that is flexible and can publish to a variety of platforms. In our case, I think I would like to start with Sanity CMS. Just because I'm familiar with it. What do you think? Is that a good place to start? Is that a good place to start? Do you have another idea of a CMS I should also consider? I think for our needs that Sanity might be the best, but let me just pass that into Claude Code just to see what it thinks. So let's see, I also have this. Okay, I could just take a screenshot here and open this up in, I think it's dashboard. Let's see, Claude, and I could just send this in as well real quick. So I have our latest desktop, and then whoops, God, I hate that so much. Okay, let's just fix that. I think I should understand it. Here. Sanity is a fine starting point if you treat it as a test case for an adapter pattern, not the destination. It's a strongly typed schema. Portable text, defined document types is the easiest integration to reason about, and your familiarity gets you to a working flow fastest. The trade-off, it's not where most of your ICP lives. B2B SaaS founders run Webflow or WordPress, that's true, more often than Sanity. So if sign-up conversions is the goal, those need to land soon afterwards. I suggest Sanity first, validate the abstraction, then WordPress, huge install base, biggest ICP overlap, then Webflow, CMS API, modern startup default. There's another one too, like, I forget what it was called. I forget. Lock the adapter shape now, even with one implicit publish, artifact, target, external ID, URL status, plus enough metadata for unpublish, update later, saves a refactor when you add number 2, so like the next platform. Skip contentful for V1 unless you hit enterprise AS. It's powerful but rare in your founder ICP. One thing worth thinking about upfront, mapping. Sanity wants portable text. WordPress wants HTML. Webflow wants its own rich text JSON. You'll need a draft to target format step per adapter, not just an API call. If you want, I can sketch the integration spec next, adapter contract mapping layer, where it lives in the schema, probably a publication or content artifact destination table linked to artifacts. Let's map out the integration spec and the adapter contract. Let's just do that. The integration spec. Cool. So I'm gonna need to also create a Sanity. I think I actually do have Sanity set up for the ongoing AI website, the marketing site, but I do need to kind of like figure out how maybe I will do that. I think, yeah, I'll probably set up a new setup right now. Let me just hide my screen for a second so I can run that. And sorry about that, just give me 1 second so I can log in here, make sure I'm not like doxing myself here. So 1 second. Okay, just 1 second. Logging into Sanity for work. Where did I hear about Sanity? I think it was honestly ChatGPT. I am fluent in JavaScript. What kind of work do I do? I do, let's just say marketing, and what best describes my role? Business owner. 1 to 10 people in the company, the org. I am building a marketing site. Let's just call this ongoing AI. I am using Next.js. No, starting from scratch. No, skip. Okay. And then I think I need to create a new API token. And I think this would be an editor? Wait. Developer. 1 sec, I need to see what permissions I would need. So 1 second, almost done here. Then what would I need here for publishing and creating a new Sanity content area project for my marketing site. Almost done here. Use editor or developer if you truly need settings access. Developer. Okay, I think that's it. So I'm just gonna do a developer access. Dev access. Okay. And then I'm just gonna paste this into my system. Good to go now. Refresh that. Cool. Alright. So I can show my screen again. It's right here. Alright. Cool. Alright, we're all set. So I have added in. Let me see one thing. One more second. Add in Sanity API key. So we have the project ID equals, and then org ID. Okay, I have a typo. One more second, back to hiding my screen. And I think we are good to go. Almost done. Project ID, and then my org ID. Alright. Updated the typo. Alright, we are back. Don't leak any info. I'm streaming live right now. I think we need to create a new data set as well so that it knows where to store the data. It's not just project ID and org ID, but I'll wait on that. I'll wait for it to let me know what to do. I think one of the problems with Sanity is that it does allow a flexible schema as well. So someone could call their content content or body or HTML or whatever they feel like calling it. And I think that's something that we're going to need to ensure that it is flexible on our end so that people can name it and structure it however they want specifically for their website without having to build to our specific requirements. So the data set, whatever you called it, this is what Sanity org ID should be renamed to. Yeah, so this is the document type. Alright, one more second. I have to keep editing the ENV files. Does this look good? So I have to check my settings with ChatGPT. Clean, valid, public. Alright, yeah, we don't have any private content being stored. It's all gonna be public content. Alright, let's save that. Okay, so it was 1 second. Okay, projects. Alrighty. Alrighty, I think we are finally set. Let's double check one last time. And it looks like we are good. Yep, cool. Okay, so we should also probably fix up our, yeah, we should remove all this placeholder stuff so that we can update our fab icon for our dashboard. So let me just add that in too. So let's use our fab icon logo.png, generate it the right formats from this file, and then use it in our dashboard fab icon setting. Okay, cool. So that's running. That's running. Our website tab we can close, and I think we are good to go. All right. So we have. This is our data set. This is public information, so nothing to worry about here. And then inside of our dashboard, yeah, cool. So I think my goal with this is going to be having our agent generate draft blog post for us. And I would like to, so we have the content getting generated here, but I think what I would like to do is take this blog post that we're looking at here and then view it or publish it directly to Sanity, and then ideally have this live up on our site somewhere. That's really what I'm looking at right now. And I think that some of the things that we could do with Sanity is pretty nice. Like we could have a glossary section and just automatically create new glossary terminology. And I think like if you look at some of the bigger like finance terms, like let's see. So if I do like Roth IRA or something, you'll see that these guys here, Investopedia, they rank for everything related, like pretty much any terminology that you type in to Google related to like personal finance. These guys rank up on the top, and they do this with a glossary style approach towards creating content. So this is a really great strategy for creating content around a specific topic and like proving expertise around like the specific category of content. And like if they were to start writing about, you know, street food in China or something, like that would kind of like not really fit into their primary category of like personal finance. And like the same thing would go with like the ongoing AI website. If we were to start talking about personal finance, it wouldn't really fit. But if our content category is based around creating SEO content, optimizing your website in the new age of like AI SEO, and like adapting to like the new strategies, and like generating content that's based around answering questions and like proving expertise, stuff like that, they wouldn't be able to like really add that into their space, and we wouldn't really be able to add personal finance into our category of content. So that's something that's really important to keep in mind. But when it comes to like glossary pages, these guys are the GOAT, honestly. These guys have it all kind of like tied down specifically. So if I was to go like to like break down this page here a little bit, if I go to like terms R, for example, let's see what happens here. Look at all this content they have around just R related personal finance terms. So like renewable resource or revaluation, and it's all like really detailed. It's all really well written, and I think this is like a really untapped source for like kind of showing expertise in a specific context, a specific category of context. And I think this really helps the LLMs to like reference people, and this type of stuff does really well in citations. I think if we were to like search for terms related to like personal finance or something, I'm not going to do that right now, but if I was to search for terms, I bet that Investopedia would show up in quite a few of their citations and the answers that ChatGPT produces. So we should have our new Fab icon. Okay, that's been added in, so we no longer have the Vercel icon. That's nice. And then it looks like if I view the draft, okay, so that should be on the content tab, but it looks like they put it here. So I could publish this to Sanity. Let's give this a shot. So your site doesn't show up in ChatGPT for your own category. Here's why. And let's publish this content to Sanity. Let's see what happens. All right, and let's take a look now at Sanity. And close this up and close that. We can leave that open for now. Okay, so our content. How do I see it? so I do have the one document here. So that did work successfully. So that's amazing. If I don't know how to like really use their user interface here, but I think maybe what should I do? I could, we do have it running locally here. Oh, I was running locally, but if I run it locally again, and then go into our website, and npm run dev here. So that's our website. And then I would say, okay, let's try this. Let's try displaying this now in our website. It's like documents, code, website. Do not display any API keys or anything like that in the console, but we might need to copy it over to our new project. The sanity dot whatever star env variables. So I might just try to hide some of this just while we're working on it, but this is our website that we're working on, and you can see it's a pretty small like starter website. This is really just a landing page, and it kind of gives you an idea just of some like generic stuff that we're doing right now. It's a real starting point, really minimal. Everything does work though. All of these links work. We have a wait list for joining the ongoing AI launch waitlist. So all of this stuff does work. So if you are interested, feel free to sign up for the waitlist. Our goal would be to have people on the waitlist who are looking for, I guess, proven, measurable results. So we're trying to find people who would fit as like a really great case study, and then people who would want to actually like drive more traffic from LLMs. So this would be like a free beta user program. So if anyone's interested, and you might be watching right now, feel free to sign up for a wait list. We would probably do like a 6 to 8 week trial where we would basically like run this on your site, on your marketing site. Ideally, you would already have a product out. You would have somewhat of a marketing site available as well, and we could. I think that's good that I hit that. So it would be good that if you had something already that we could work with, and you're not starting from scratch. But yeah, depending on wherever you are in that process, feel free to sign up. And if you think you'd be a good fit, yeah, do sign up for the wait list. That would be really cool to have some like people that are technology founders, people that are building SaaS projects, and people that are looking to generate more qualified traffic and experiment with like new strategies on how to rank in the LLMs and how to get cited more often and how to like drive real like measurable traffic from the LLMs. But yeah, that's if you're interested in joining. But yeah, that's our website so far. So we are going to have to, okay, let me see if I refresh this. If I go to blog, let me see if I go to blog. Blog is not configured yet, so let me run that again. Okay. Alright, so we are trying to see if our blog article let me actually just double check that I have the ENV set up correctly. Just 1 second. I will need to hide my screen real quick. Yeah, 1 second. Looks like it is working perfectly. Awesome. So let me bring the display back up. All right, so this did work. So that was a full full process. So we had our agent pull in. So what our agent did was it scanned our website, it looked for all the major issues, and using our ICP profile, it was able to come up with some ideas for blog articles that we should be writing and that should display on our website. And it actually created the blog article for us and published it directly to Sanity. And then on our end, we were able to pull in the latest articles from the Sanity CMS and display it into our Next.js marketing website. So this is like a full cycle now that was able to be completed and actually run on our website. So this is incredible. I'm very happy with this, and obviously we need to style it and probably enrich it a bit more with some images or something. So let me continue going with this, but I'm just very happy and wanted to appreciate what we had accomplished so far. But this is awesome. This is looking really good. Very, very cool. Very cool. This is very cool. All right, so very cool. Very cool. Let's now update our marketing site. The header should contain a link to the blog. Header should contain a link to /blog. Footer should contain a link to /blog. Footer should also contain a link. On the blog itself, we do need to fix the styling. On the blog index of articles, we do need to fix the styling of the rendered articles. And for the specific article, it needs a lot of work. So for a specific article, for a single article, this also needs design work as well. Spacing between text, fitting text within the container, etc. Cool. So let's let that run and close that. Let's let that run and let's see what happens. I also would like, when the content is published, I think one of the best things that we could do now is probably generate images for our content And I think that I do like the idea of like a theme of images and like adding a featured image as well. So I'm going to start working towards that. Let's see. If this is actually well written now. Let's take a look at it. If your site is invisible in ChatGPT, Claude, or Perplexity when someone asks about your category, it's almost never a traffic problem. It's a citability problem. LLMs don't surface pages that rank, they surface pages that answer. If your site was written to attract keywords rather than to be the definitive, liftable answer to a specific question your buyer is asking an AI right now, you won't be cited. That sentence is a mouthful, but I don't really like that one. But not because your product is worse, but because your content doesn't look like a source worth quoting. The moment that makes this real. A customer messages you. Oh, perfect. Cool. I love it. This looks great. Damn, this looks really good. Yes. This looks so good. I'm so happy with this. This is really cool. Your site doesn't show up in ChatGPT for your own category. Here's why. Damn. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT what it thinks. Music is kind of loud. Okay. So what am I doing? I'm just relishing in my accomplishment for a minute, but what I did was we created the full cycle now. So what this is doing is what we've done is we are now proving that we are able to go full cycle of scanning our website for issues or scanning any website for issues, generating content ideas, creating a draft of content, and then publishing it to our CMS. In this case, we have the Sanity CMS, but it could be any CMS in the future. But we built out an integration, and then this content now lives in Sanity CMS. So this is our actual like host for hosting all of our like articles and stuff. And it's now it's appearing here in our index of blog articles, and then if I click through, we can see our actual article as well. and I'm just kind of reading through and checking out like the quality of the article, and I think that ChatGPT has given me some good feedback. I was just reading through the feedback now of what ChatGPT thinks, but I think overall, like, we're kind of getting close to something that's beginning to become like usable, and we have a shape of like a real product kind of forming right now. So we have our domain, we have our overview of the domain, we have our scanning that we've done. We should enable automatic scanning because I don't want to have to do manual scanning personally. And then we have the ability for the user to add in knowledge about like their project and their domain and their user and stuff. And then we have the ability now to get ideas of content generated based off of like what we know about the site and like what the user wants their site to appear like, and then also like generate, I think, high quality content based around like, you know, our specific category of content. So it's coming along. This is kind of mind blowing, but this is like the full cycle of like suggesting and ideating content ideas and strategies, and then like actually publishing it and getting it onto a website. So super happy with this progress today. It's been like a while that we've been kind of hammering away at stuff, but I feel like now, I think this is like day 12 or something, but now we're able to actually have something finally. This is a good feeling. There's a lot of improvement and like room for improvement, but man, what a good feeling. We really got something going on today. I think because, okay, so there's a few things now I think that we can improve upon. But I think I might stop tweaking out on the dashboard and try to actually get this live and work towards getting this to be something that people can sign up for. So I think I'm going to continue the rest of this now off stream, but I think for now I'm happy with what we've done on stream today, and I think we're going to keep going forward with this off stream and try to turn this into like something that people can sign up for and like actually start optimizing their sites and like get this content up on our marketing site at ongoing.ai. And yeah, so I think that's going to be it for the stream today. We're about 2 hours in, which I think is a pretty good amount of time for a stream like this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something, and if you have any questions about SEO or improving your site and getting your site to begin to rank in the LLMs and get cited more often and start to drive more qualified traffic, be sure to subscribe down below or leave a comment on this video, on this live stream video, and I hope I'll be sure to answer everyone, but I hope you enjoyed watching this, and be sure to check out the live streams in the future.